Hello, SandLand fans. Although truthfully, I'm not one. I like cartoon tanks. That's why I bought this thing. But I thought I'd learn a little bit about it. So according to Wikipedia, SandLand was originally a manga publication written by Akira Toriyama, and this was back in the year 2000. Later on, they made an animation movie, and that came out in 2023, so quite recently. And then also, there's a TV series now put out by the Disney Channel, and that came out in 2024, I guess in spring of this year. So 13 episodes there. And then also, there's a video game of the thing, and there's a bunch of YouTubes of people playing this game, and it looks actually kind of interesting. And just looking at this, there's some mechs as well that look pretty cool. Maybe they'll come out with model kits or something of all this stuff. I know Bandai actually does make a model kit of this, but I thought I'd just start with this like figurine that's made by Banpresto. Alright, so it's this general story from what I'm reading on Wikipedia is, the Earth is dried up. And sadly, it seems to be the way the real Earth is going. And then water is a big resource, and people fight and try to control it. And basically, these guys are trying to free up some water from some greedy person that's hoarded all of it. Okay, well, anyways, that's the original manga, one of the original manga's images there. This, I don't know what that is, if that's the movie or not. Let's open this up soon here. So Bandai, this is one of their franchises, I guess, just like they have Gundam and so many other things. Bandai prints their own money basically through toys. Doesn't have a year of when this thing came out. World Collectible Figure, that's like a line of figures put out by Banpresto. Tank 104, I guess that's because it's numbered 104. And then I forget what that character's name is because I don't know anything about this. I haven't watched, none of these episodes are free to watch because they're so recent. And I'm not going to go buy a PlayStation. I really don't like how they don't date toys. It's really strange, because you don't have an idea of the value of something if you don't know how old it is. Like, if this just came out this year, which it probably did, there's still probably tons of them still out there to buy brand new instead of from scalpers. So, speaking of which, I didn't pay a lot for this, so I'm pretty sure this figure must have come out this year in 2024, should you happen to run into this video 20 years from now. Okay. Some QR codes. BSP prize. Maybe this is one of those Ichiban Kuji prizes. They have like a lottery in Japan for toys instead of money. And you get different grades of toys, if you're lucky, based on the winning ticket numbers. Alright, it's very heavy because I think this is all PVC, but I think it's actually dense, like not hollowed out. Kind of like the Gundam Converge figures that also Bandai owns the franchise of. Gundams. And it's packaged the same way, it's just giant scale. Yeah, that's very heavy. I wouldn't doubt that that's a solid chunk of plastic. And this... Boy, let's get some scissors here because there's another bag, it looks like, in that bag. I don't understand why they would make bags within bags, but they do. So the cardboard is to protect this, and just like Converge figures, I'm going to guess this plastic is rigid here, which I don't like because it's going to snap if you ever drop this, or even just roughly take it out of this bag, it'll break. I wish everything was soft plastic so it could flex. It does flex a little, but I bet if you bend it 90 degrees, it'll snap. Alright, looking at the bottom, like a Converge review, we do have some tank treads. Very interesting tank treads. There's no weathering, though. There's also no year here. I mean, that doesn't coincide with anything. Maybe, like, I don't know if Japan has their own years, their traditional years versus the regular calendar that the rest of the world uses. Okay, well, no weathering. You could weather it. The tracks are also totally solid. You got air. All the air gaps are filled in, so that's unfortunate. I wish they could have done that better. If they molded these separately, which I do think maybe the tracks are separate. Yeah, there's a bunch of air gaps there. I think they could have maybe molded those tracks to be hollow. It's interesting they do show the torsion bar suspension here. It's like an axle. I don't know what that is, these little bumps. But some rivet marks, backing plates. The headlights are painted white. Interesting that they wouldn't be silver, but I guess white's better than nothing. And then I'm gonna guess this is a hatch or a door on the real thing, but again, no paint there. But that would be easy to add some black paint into and then wipe off the excess because it is recessed. What is cool is they molded in a bunch of dents, you know, like it took fire or ran into things, right? Oh, a bunch of scratches and stuff like that. I think that's cool. The side actually has very, very thin stepping bars, step bars. You know, although I am bending it, I wouldn't do that too much. It might break. And then I like how this side pipe is just coming out. It's a separate piece, obviously. I don't know if this is like a frame or an exhaust system of some sort. Maybe it's just arm. I don't know. But anyways, obviously you can see the real exhaust here. Painted gunmetal, looking pretty good. They have a clamped on muffler. So, yeah, and then the muffler tips are nice because they're hollow in the middle, so they look like tubes, and they're dark in there. And there's some sort of support structure going to that muffler there, and that's carrying across over to this side. I think it's probably all the same piece, and they just painted the muffler. Yeah, there's a little extra gunmetal, but that's fine. And then I have no clue what this would be, but it's not symmetric. This bracket is taller than that side, and it almost looks like a golf club, but I don't know. This grill detail or vent detail is going up there pretty nice. You could add some black paint in there easily. There's some recesses in a circular shape here. The toe rings look like they're separate pieces. I'm sure they're glued in place. So you could put some chains on there maybe. Mini chains. Some rivet marks here to shroud the exhaust coming out. These look like separate pieces too. They look like canteens. Maybe they're water storage. There's 4 of them it seems. I don't know what that is, an air inlet perhaps, and then the side door cuts here seem okay. And then this graphic is tampo printed. It's not a decal, it's not a sticker, it's literally paint stamped on there, so that's good for longevity. It just looks good as well. It doesn't look all wrinkly like a decal. Well, this is interesting. That's not symmetric. There's a gear sticking out the side of this for some reason. It's not on that side though. So a little asymmetry is nice to see. And then yeah, again, it's just a solid chunk, I think. I don't think it's hollow. Unless possibly, maybe this lower hull is a separate piece, which I think it is now, so maybe it is hollow in there. Alright, the main character we have here, Beezlebub. This is supposed to be some sort of... Oh, this is the son of the devil, according to Wikipedia. I closed out the Wikipedia window, but I remember reading about that, so... Okay, well, it's very well done, this character. How it's the eyes and little accents of movement, the teeth are kind of, they have some dimensionality to them. The glasses or goggles look really good with the 3 colors painted. A little hinge or something. It's a separate piece, the goggles. The hair is nicely sculpted. There's no, it doesn't seem like there's any airbrushing of darkness, but still molded really nice. This cape is flexible, so that's good. Hopefully that won't break. And that's a separate piece as well, it looks like. They painted a little silver around the wrists there. Looks alright. And he's wearing pants, thankfully. And a tail is sticking out. And this tail is flexible as well, so hopefully that won't break. We have some molded in grab handles or toe rings. Maybe they lifted off with chains or something. And then for some reason it's got eyes painted on, okay, and it's got a really well detailed machine gun, you know, the like the cross drilling of a shroud. And then it actually is like hollow, looking like a tube kinda. Same with the barrel, so that's nice. Maybe a little black paint in there would be better. And then perhaps that's a sighting hole. So it's nice that these aren't just flat, you know. They could have easily just made them flat like that thing. But they took the time to make them look like tubes and barrels, which is nice. Unfortunately, this one is not. It would have been cool if had a hole in it so you could stick in an antenna. I'm assuming that's supposed to be like an antenna mount. So anyways, that's all hollowed on the bottom side, and I think it looks pretty nice. I think this yellow is just raw plastic. I don't think it's painted. So it's got a little bit of a sheen to it. If you want to make it look better, you hit it with some clear coat, a matte clear coat, and it'll knock that shine down. But then you're going to lose the shine of the exhaust. But I guess, you know, being a tank out in the middle of this desert, that would probably be like rusty. Oh, okay, so I guess maybe the character might come out, or no. I think maybe this kind of goes in here to be like, well, no, it goes up in here. I see. Alright, so there's a little shape to it, like an L shape, and there is a corresponding L-shaped recess there, so the hatch is open now. I was wondering if this guy comes out, but oddly, oh wait, no, that's the whole turret. I think the guy might be glued in there. Granted, I guess it wouldn't matter, because even if you took him out, he'd have no legs, no shins and feet. It's nice that you can turn that, and it's a pretty tight friction fit. Right, it's not just falling, it's not super loose. But if it was super loose, like these things tend to shrink or warp over time. So if you find this video in 10 years, you could just use some poster putty to fill in any sort of looseness and keep it together. So I guess these two slots are for this thing, this little flag. It looks like a golf flag. Hole number 9. Alright, and that fits in pretty nice as well. Very good. It's a little bent, but that's fine. You could dip this in hot water if you want, and it should straighten itself out. But being a cartoon tank, I think I'm actually liking that it's warped. So it looks like a battle-worn tank. Yeah. So overall dimensioning of this thing with the character, let's see. You'll have to make the call here if I put this on the bottom of the track. Maybe 13.5 centimeters, or what is that, like 5.5 inches? And since you can't take that guy out, I guess that is the overall height. The width isn't so bad. It's these pipes sticking out, so it's probably somewhere around 7 centimeters, or like whatever that is, 2 3/4. I think I'm gonna stop mentioning inches. It's just a stupid way to measure stuff. You know, I grew up in America, and it's just stupid. I mean, I measure everything in metric, and inches just doesn't make sense. You can learn the whole metric system in 5 minutes. It's just easier. Alright, anyways, overall length is 85 millimeters. And we're going to leave it at that. Let's do some size comparisons. So, I've been doing a whole bunch of these Meng model tanks. This is the Tiger 1. That's a heavy tank, and then here's a Meng Stewart tank, which is considered a light tank. So this thing could actually fit in with your Meng collection, you know, being cartoon tanks and all that. So it's more similar to a medium-sized tank from the collection, but I want to show you the range of sizing from Meng. So let's get that out of there. I did a video on the Yufan Tiger 1. You know, this could actually even work too. You just have to ignore the Tiger 1 being a real tank. But the humanoid characters by Yufan seem to be okay compared to this devil character. Another Banpresto product, we have the Girls Owned Panzer. This is Anchovy. She's a little big, I think, you know, her head. Although actually I think in this cartoon, this is a pretty small character compared to other humans. I think it's maybe a kid. You know, the son of the devil, so maybe he's a teenage devil or something. This is a Gashapon from, it's Votoms is the franchise. I don't even know what this thing is called, but it looks kind of like a sand robot, and it looks like that video game has mechs in it, so I suppose that could work pretty well. They kind of have the same kind of styling to them, so I think that actually works. And then, speaking of Votoms, here's a Takara 148 scale fatty Votoms in desert colors. So 148 scale, if you have to ignore the pilot inside of here. There's a little pilot in there, but for some reason I forget how this hatch even opens. But if you ignore the human, you know, it actually might work. You know what, actually I should open this, because it looks like if these are side hatches, maybe this human would scale correctly. But hold on, I think I have to maybe lift the back end of this. Oh, there it is. I have to lift up the back. Alright, so you see this human in there? Or humanoid? You know, if that human was standing, I guess this could be realistic. You know, someone trying to walk through that door versus that. So, this is 1/48 scale. Maybe this SandLand is somewhere... No, that doesn't make sense because this devil's way too big. Alright, well, you get an idea. If you have some Votoms, possibly it could work. But I do think the tank itself fits pretty well with the World War Toons line from Meng. So, all in all, it just comes down to how much you can pay for this. If you don't have to pay too much, I think it's pretty nice. If you love the cartoon, the manga, the movie, or the video game, I think this is probably a must-have product. The quality's there, it's good enough for me at least. If you're willing to take the time, you could add some paint details and paint washes and actually make it look like a really weathered tank. I really like that they put in all the dents and stuff like that to really make it look old. So, or if you're lazy, just do a matte clear coat, rattle can matte clear coat over the thing, and that alone would knock the shine down and make it look better, including the character. You know, most humans don't shine unless they went for a 10-kilometer run, or for me, a 500-meter run. Okay, so thanks for watching, and now that I'm introduced to this franchise, I'm gonna have to get the Bandai model kit probably and build that. So I'm not gonna weather this one. I'll naturally weather a model kit. So if you like that sort of stuff, hang tight, and eventually I'll get that video out there after I acquire the kit. We'll see you the next time around. We talk about some cartoony stuff, which will probably be tomorrow.